Okay, so we're working on V5. We're going to get to a 70 SMART score. V5 is about division with exponents. So as long as the base of the numerator and the denominator is the same, that all we do to the exponents is subtract them. So for example, um, right here. The base of the top and the bottom is D. So I know that the base of my answer is going to be D. So I'm going to go ahead and get my answer started with a D as my base. Then all I have to do is subtract my exponents. I've just got to start with the top exponent, which is 5, and subtract the bottom exponent, which is negative 6. Okay, those turn into a positive. So 5 plus 6 equals 11. So my exponent of my answer is going to be 11. So my final answer is D to the 11th. Okay, so same thing. The base of both of my numerator and my denominator is R. So I'm going to get my answer started off with a R as my base. And then since I'm dividing, I'm going to subtract my exponents. So negative 5 minus negative 7, that will turn into a plus. So my answer will be a positive 2. So my answer is going to be R to the second power. Okay, so I have a T. That's going to be my base. And then I'm looking at my exponents. And I have 2 minus 6. 2 minus 6 is negative 4. So really my answer is going to be T to the negative 4. Okay? You could write it like that, but our instructions tell us to use positive exponents. So instead of having T to the negative 4, we have to write it 1 over T to the 4th. Okay, anytime you have a negative exponent, it wants you to write it like that. So I'm going to click my fraction. I'm going to put a 1 on top. And then on the bottom, I'm going to put T to the 4th. Okay, so it looks like my base is going to be N. And I have my exponents as negative 9 minus 2. Negative 9 minus 2 is negative 11. So my answer would be N to the negative 11th. But it tells me to use positive exponents, so I know I need to change that to look like 1 over N to the 11th. So as I type this in, I'm going to click the fraction. I'm going to put a 1 as my numerator, and then as the denominator, I'm going to put N to the 11th power. Okay, so it looks like my base is going to be G this time, and if I subtract my exponents, 8 minus 5 is 3. That's a positive 3, so my answer is just going to be G to the 3rd. I don't have to change the way my answer looks because my exponent is already positive. So I just do G to the 3rd. Oh, to the 3rd. Okay, for this problem, it looks like my base is going to be a Q. My exponents are going to be negative 9 minus 3. Negative 9 minus 3 is negative 12. So my answer would need to be Q to the negative 12, but I cannot use a negative exponent, so I'm going to change it to look like 1 over Q to the positive 12. This is my final answer. This is what I'm going to type in. Fraction 1 over Q to the 12. Okay? F's going to be the base of my final answer. I have 9 as my numerator minus negative 6. That turns into a positive positive. So 9 plus 6 is going to be 15, positive 15. So my final answer will be f to the 15th. My exponent is positive, so no need to change the way that it looks. So I type in f to the 15th power. Okay, so we should know that this problem is actually, I'm going to rewrite it over here, w to the 20th divided by w. Now you know that there's an invisible 1 right here beside this w. So when I get ready to come up with my answer, I'm actually going to take 20 minus 1. And 20 minus 1 is 19. So my final answer is going to be w as my base, and then a positive 19th as my exponent. So I'm going to have w to the 19th power. Okay? My bases are the same. I always needed to check to make sure that I have the same base on the numerator and the denominator, and I do. I have a u. So now I'm just going to look at the exponents. I have 16 minus negative 1 plus plus, so that's going to equal a 17. So I have u to the 17th power. It's already positive, so I just leave it like it is. U to the 17th. Okay, I have a p for my numerator and my denominator. So now I'm just going to look at my exponents. Negative 1 minus negative 6. You've got to make sure that you put that minus and a negative if your denominator exponent is negative. Okay? You've got to make sure you put both. That changes to a positive, positive. Negative 1 plus 6 is positive 5. So my answer will be P with a positive 5 as my exponent. P to the 5th power. Okay, so this looks a little bit different because it does have a 0 as an exponent. I still work with it the same way. So P is on the top and the bottom of my fraction, so that's going to be my base. If I look at my exponents, I have negative 3 minus 0. Negative 3 minus 0 is just negative 3. So my answer would look like P to the negative 3rd power. We cannot have a negative as our exponent. It tells us to use positive exponents. So I'm going to change that so it looks like 1 over P to the positive 3rd. So I'm going to click my fraction. I'm going to have a 1 as a numerator and P to the 3rd. Okay, I've reached a 70 SMART score, so I am done. Let me know if you guys need anything. Until I see